Today, I'm giving 3 sellers the chance to get one step ahead of the game and snoop around their competitors' houses.
I'm not really sure why that is in here.
This is rather depressing, I'm afraid.
There's Design Doo-Doo.
The colour of the walls reminded them of something that you would find in a baby's nappy.
Oh, no, really?
And Design Don'ts.
There's no way anyone is going to buy this house with the amount of clutter that's in it at the moment.
As they try to improve their homes, some hesitate.
I didn't think it would be so blue.
Others procrastinate.
Oh, that's nice.
And can any of them bag an offer from my buyer?
That would be a lovely family house.
Today, I'm in the classic holiday hotspot of Bournemouth, which has an average of 8 hours of sunshine a day. And the outlook is good for property too, with prices up 14% on last year, with an average home selling for £211,000. Great news for my 3 sellers looking to take advantage and sell to my buyer, ex-Marine and petrolhead Steve, who's been living in New Zealand for the past 7 years and is used to big houses as well as big open spaces.
So you've gone from, I guess, a lot of space in New Zealand, a big house, lots of land.
Exactly, middle of a farm.
Middle of a farm. That's not going to happen here.
Yeah, not
Definitely not going to happen.
Never going to happen.
But if I could ask you to describe to me or paint a picture of the perfect house for you, what are the sort of things that it really must have or that you would really like?
It must have 4 bedrooms, so that we've got room for an office and for a craft room, because that's very important for my wife, because she's really into her hobbies and crafts.
Okay.
And I've got to have some room for guests. It's got to have good off-road parking, because vehicles are central to my life.
Style-wise, how would you describe your style?
We like a relaxed house. I really dislike these houses where it's a show home and you don't move that glass because they'll move it back again. That just drives me nuts.
So this isn't the interim house for you, is it? This isn't just stay here for a few years.
No,
this
not
is
at
the I'm done.
I'm done moving. I'm sick to death of moving.
So we've got to find the home for the rest of your life.
In an ideal world.
Excellent. Nothing like a challenge.
Absolutely.
For that forever home with space for a craft room, Steve has a budget of 400 grand. So I've lined up 3 properties, but all need work before I can show them to him. First up, it's mother and daughter duo Sarah and Louise. Sarah is looking to downsize from her spacious 3-bed detached as her children have flown the nest, and this family-sized property is just too big for her. But her bold-tasting colour, one in particular, is not helping the sale of her property.
I don't know what it is about yellow, apart from the fact it's bright and cheerful. Makes you happy. Yeah.
But bright colour schemes aren't the only issue in this house. Sarah's the first to admit she's not the most professional decorator.
I am quite good at DIY jobs, but it's the finishing of them that takes the time. They go on for years sometimes.
And Louise's unwillingness to let go is having a big impact on her spare bedroom.
My mum's a compulsive hoarder. You keep moving my stuff about, don't you, and hiding it away and putting it in bags so I take it out again.
This colour-clashing 3-bed detached is a mishmash of colours and half-hearted decorating jobs, which gives the house a neglected feel throughout. It does have the off-road parking Steve is looking for and sits in the middle of my 3 properties today, on the market for 320 grand. Next up, it's camping store manager Ruth and college lab technician Steve. They moved into their 4-bed Victorian detached 3 years ago with a plan to renovate every room to the same standard as the kitchen. But an unexpected surprise has left large parts of the decor languishing.
When we first moved in, we had to repair the roof before we did any decorating, which took up the majority of our funds.
Yeah.
Hence why the whole house is beige.
But it's not just beige. Certain areas have become a dumping ground.
It's just a pile of guitars just stacked up in the corner. And you don't use any of them either.
But it's like a painting, isn't it? You really don't get rid of paintings.
Things aren't any better outside.
We do want to do something with the garden because we do understand that we're not using the patio to its full potential.
Yeah.
This half-finished 4-bedroom detached has the bland decor in most of the living areas and needs a big injection of personality. But it does have a beautiful kitchen that Steve will appreciate. It's the cheapest of my 3 properties on at £304,500. Last up, it's Jim and Karen, who are looking to take early retirement and move closer to family, including their 12 grandchildren. Though they're keen to move after 19 years in this 3-bed detached, it's a house they've loved from the moment they saw it.
We walked through the kitchen and into here and went, wow.
We've had some amazing parties in this conservatory. the extent I've had 30, 40 people in here.
Karen clearly sees the conservatory as a selling point. Shame she's not so proud of the kitchen.
I actually hate the kitchen because it's disorganised, it's messy, I haven't got enough cupboard space, it badly needs decorating.
And when it comes to style, Jim knows what he likes, as long as Karen likes it too.
You just do whatever I tell you, basically, don't
yes,
you?
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
This old-fashioned detached is confused, and the dilapidated kitchen desperately needs modernising. However, it does have the large garage Steve was after. It's the most expensive of my 3 properties, on the market for 340 grand. So it's Louise and Sarah's colour-clashing detached against Ruth and Steve's unfinished Victorian, and Jim and Karen's old-fashioned detached, all fighting it out for the attention of my buyer Steve. To help my sellers realise what they could change in their own homes, they now get the chance to check out their rivals' properties. Starting at Jim and Karen's 3-bed house, which has a great-sized garden but is dated throughout. This is a good-sized detached family home, but it's cluttered and dated, and some areas, like this thing behind me, are very confused. Now, it's been on the market for 5 months and they haven't had a single viewing. So clearly there is work to be done to get those buyers through the front door. First to snoop are Ruth and Steve.
No, it's okay. Bit plain.
Be better if it was yellow, wouldn't it?
Bright yellow. Yeah. They're in agreement. This house is lacking curb appeal. In the living room, all eyes are on the floor.
The carpet here is in a lot better condition than the carpet in our home because it's been eaten by moths.
Yeah, but you can't see that.
You can! Ruth and Steve see what their lounge lacks.
This room feels a lot more lived in.
Than our room.
Yeah, than ours.
Our lounge needs a bit more in it, doesn't it? It's a bit bare.
Yeah.
Next door, the conservatory confusion begins.
Oh, this is nice and bright.
I'm not really sure why that is
Why
in
it's
here.
up on
Why
the
it's
table.
up. It's a bit confusing.
There's storage underneath.
Yeah.
Oh, that's-
What's that space up there?
No, maybe an office or art studio.
Low ceiling, mind your head.
Is there?
Okay.
Next door in the study, Steve is getting inspired.
Thinking what we've got in our house, it makes me kind of feel that the music room or guitar room would need some decluttering.
Hurrah! Steve's thinking about hanging up his guitars, much to Ruth's relief. Next door, Louise and Sarah check out the kitchen.
It's very dated.
Oh, yes.
Not keen on the kitchen.
No, no.
It's on the market for £340,000.
No, I wouldn't pay 340. There's just far too much alterations to do to make it.
How you would like
Yeah.
it.
It needs a lot of TLC, I think, in every single room.
It needs a complete redecor, I think.
The rival sellers are in agreement that this house needs too much work to warrant its price tag, but Steve did realise that the guitars have to go. Next to be snooped is Sarah's colour-clashing 3-bed detached, with a gaudy decor and open-plan living area.
This house is as bright as its owner, both inside and out. And although the bold colour schemes might be memorable, they're certainly not attracting buyers because Sarah's only had a handful of viewings in the last 3 months. I feel not only does this house need toning down a little bit, but it also needs smartening up.
First to snoop are Ruth and Steve.
Oh, it's yellow.
Yeah, it's very yellow.
It is very yellow. Don't know what's going on underneath those windowsills.
This is rather depressing, I'm afraid.
Not overly keen on the yellow.
The sunshine yellow didn't impress. Inside, there's more colour confusion in the living room.
Yellows and blues. The yellow and blue on the outside and yellow and blue on the inside. Somebody
Yeah,
really
someone likes
likes
yellow.
yellow and blue.
No guitars though, eh, Steve?
It's not very inviting at all. It doesn't feel homely, doesn't feel loved.
Things do pack up in the kitchen next door as Karen and Jim get a lesson in finishing.
Wow.
This is a surprise.
Yes.
I think just replacing the tiles in our kitchen could make one hell of a lot of difference.
Upstairs, Ruth and Steve are bamboozled by the spare bedroom.
Yeah, it's not very appealing as a bedroom.
That could do with a bit of TLC.
This house is on the market for £320,000.
320 is way too ambitious for this house as it is at the moment.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of work to do for 320.
Yeah. And I think that's why it's not selling.
In its current state, the rival sellers agree this house is priced a little on the high side. Last up, it's Ruth and Steve's 4-bed Victorian detached, which has a beautifully finished kitchen, but is bland everywhere else.
This is certainly a house of two halves. The kitchen diner alone should sell it in a heartbeat, but other rooms like this drag it down and make it feel dark and dowdy, and that's the reason I feel that there's no sold board outside yet.
First to take a look are Sarah and Louise.
The white looks fresh.
Got a bit of character, isn't it?
Fresh outside, inside?
This is a fairly small room, and you don't want a heavy, dark colour. It doesn't work.
I really don't like that colour.
Baby's nappies.
Yeah.
Well, it's earthy, I'll give you that, but far less overpowering than the colour in your house. In the kitchen, Jim and Karen learn what their kitchen lacks.
This is a nice space. Very fresh, this kitchen.
Yes.
So if we put a little bit more effort into ours, it will give it a fresher look.
I agree.
Much better.
Well observed, guys. Outside, the rival sellers discover a less than picturesque patio.
A bit like a builder's yard.
Worker's yard.
The dump.
In the dining room come music studio.
Oh, yes. This is too cluttered. If you want to display one on the wall, fine, but he obviously plays them. I don't see how he can play so many all in one go.
Fair point. Maybe Steve could play them in your conservatory. It does have a stage after all. This house is on the market for $304.5 grand.
It's
big,
spacious.
roomy.
Bedrooms, the garden's a nice size. I definitely think you're getting value for money here.
I think at 304,000, that's not a bad price for this house, but the brown walls, I think, lets it down.
So the rival sellers are nearly in agreement. This property does offer good value for money, though the dreary brown colour scheme does let it down. But Jim and Karen did realise the importance of a modern, well-finished kitchen. Today I'm in Bournemouth, giving 3 sellers a hand to bring their properties up to scratch ahead of being viewed by my eager buyer, Steve.
It's got to be a house with good room sizes. I just like places that are comfortable.
It's my personal mission to give you that yes feeling, Steve. After checking out the competition, my 3 rival sellers have all picked up a tip or two on how their own homes could be improved.
I think definitely decluttering and perhaps some kitchen makeover.
Maybe we should declutter a little bit more, Mum.
All right.
We definitely need a lot more colour in our house.
Yeah, maybe.
Brighten it up a little bit.
They've all got a budget of £1,000 and 7 days to kick their houses into shape before my buyer comes to view. There are a few makeover mountains to climb if they're going to be ready in time. Starting with Ruth and Steve's unfinished 4-bedroom Victorian, which has a beautifully finished kitchen but is bland everywhere else.
Why do you think it's not shifted?
Maybe even more of a wow factor.
Yeah.
Something's missing, obviously. So.
Well, do you know what I find quite interesting about your house is your kitchen. That's got that wow factor. You walk into there and you go, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
Hooray.
And then you come into this room and it's really beige.
Well, I suppose it's also very calm and earthy.
You could look at it like that, or you could look at it like the other sellers looked at it when they came in here and they said that they thought the colour of the walls reminded them of something that you would find in a baby's nappy.
Oh no, really?
I think this fireplace is wonderful. That colour would work brilliantly in here. I mean, is that utterly hideous to you?
No.
I quite like it.
Yeah, I quite like
I
it.
like it.
Yeah.
It's not a huge
Yeah.
job, this.
No.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think that'll be, I'm happy with that, actually.
Good.
That's a lot less than I was expecting.
I hope they're not too strung out when I break the news next door in the dining room.
How many guitars do you actually own?
About 16 or 17 here.
Okay. Here? Where are the others then?
At my parents.
We're going to talk about putting them up on the wall.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a suggestion.
So pick out your 7 favourites,
Okay.
and the rest will have to go to your parents' house. I have a paint sample in my pocket. What do you think about that colour?
Yeah, that's quite nice.
Not everywhere, because
no.
again, you don't want to... But what would work, I feel, would be if you did that wall and then put the guitars here.
Yeah.
And just create a really lovely display with them.
Okay.
I think that doesn't
Doable.
sound that bad, actually.
I think it'd be worse as well.
Did you? What did you think I was going to say?
Burn them all.
Burn the guitars!
There's no money in music.
Well, yeah, we all know that. Shall we move outside?
Let's do that.
There's obviously no money being spent on the abandoned garden patio either.
Which leads me on to what the other sellers described as the builder's yard.
Yes.
It's all about creating an impact out here. A little bit bohemian, a little bit creative.
Okay.
So all that stuff that's there, stick down the side for now. There's also a palette down there, isn't there?
There
Which
is.
leads me nicely onto what I'm going to talk about. In order to make this look lovely,
Yeah.
you need to be inventive.
Okay.
So in order to be inventive, that's where the palettes come in. Because you can make those wonderful bench seats out of palettes now with lots of sort of brightly coloured cushions. In an ideal world, I would say put decking down.
Yeah, we want to do that too.
OK. Buyers love a bit of decking.
Yeah,
They really
it just
do.
looks really pretty.
And it'll hide it all away.
Yeah, it'll hide it.
Yeah. So buy a bit of decking then, if you can.
Okay.
Ruth and Steve are clearly not frightened of colour, but in some spaces it feels really dark and just really forgotten. I'm hoping that they really go with the ideas that I've given them and completely transform the space, because I cannot wait to see what they do.
No glitter, no sparkle. Very happy.
And a bit of colour, splash of colour,
Yeah,
very
splash,
useful. Yeah.
splash.
Whoa, that's quite bright.
The first splash of colour is applied in the living room, which should revive those baby brown walls.
I didn't think it would be so blue. It's more like toothpaste.
Well, those walls did need freshening up.
Oh, I don't know about this.
Give it a chance, Ruth. Not overly impressed with the paint, she has a look at the wallpaper.
I think the wallpaper's lovely. I'm still not sure about that paint, but the wallpaper's definitely lovely.
1 out of 2's not bad.
Ooh, it's not bad, is it?
You like it?
I quite like it.
Don't look so terrified, Ruth. Even Steve likes the colour.
Yeah, no, it's a bit brighter than I thought, but I actually really like it.
Next up is Jim and Karen's 3-bedroom detached, which offers great entertaining space but is in need of modernising, especially in the dilapidated kitchen.
When you come into a kitchen like this and every single surface has stuff on it, instantly I think there's not enough storage. You've got 2 toast racks. Why have you got 2 toast racks? How many people do you have around here for toast?
We've had as many as 15 here.
15?
We do have 13 grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren.
For now, and for the purposes of selling your house, you need to start getting rid of all of this. Kitchens are a bit of a pain when it comes to revamping them. So what we have to do, because we've only got £1,000 and we've only got 7 days, is work out a way to spruce this up so when the agent takes new pictures, it will draw people in. So for a start, changing these cupboards. How would you feel about painting them? Like a duck egg blue, or a soft green, something like that.
Karen was thinking of
I like
sort
the
of,
green,
like
like a
mint.
minty green.
Yeah, I think things like this really also let the kitchen down. So this kind of effect. I mean, this is
I like that.
Yeah, so instantly, if you put that with that, it's like a proper facelift.
Absolutely.
Straight away. Does it freak you out? Does it make you
No,
run
not
over the
really.
hills?
No.
Great, they're on board with the kitchen ideas. Next, the cluttered conservatory, which has had other sellers confused.
So here we are, in the conservatory with a stage.
Absolutely.
I feel like I want to get up there and start singing Les Mis, but I'd bang my head. The other sellers, when they came in here, were very confused by that space. They didn't really get what it was for.
What we used to use it for was when the children come down, they'd go up there, watch the Disney videos, do their colouring, play with the
Kids
cars.
area. We need to transform it, because at the moment it sort of feels like it's become a slight dumping ground for stuff, and that if I was a kid I wouldn't go up there now because there's nowhere to relax. So for me, I would keep it as a chill out zone but make it much more comfortable and much more enjoyable. The theme that I'm thinking about for this room, and it's a bit of a cliche because I know we're quite near the coast, but a coastal theme. Get this painted. Paint this a lovely sort of off-white, but like a chalky, soft paint, not a hard gloss. Oh, not gloss.
Definitely not gloss.
It's like a swear word. Terrified? Frightened?
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah.
Yes.
All of the above. You've got 13 grandchildren. This is nothing compared to having to deal with them for a day. It's just like a walk in the park. I feel that we need to launch a major PR campaign with this house. Houses on this estate are selling, yet this one has been on the market for 5 months and not a single person has come through the front door. My feeling is that they've got an awful lot of work and an awful lot of painting to do in the next 7 days, but we need to make the key areas of this house stand out just to get those buyers in.
I think the chat with Amanda was amazing and brought to light some things that we never thought of doing, like painting the actual balustrade on the conservatory. I think that's brilliant.
Clock ticking, Jim and Karen waste no time prepping the kitchen for painting by giving the cabinets a good scrub.
Shouldn't take too long and it shouldn't be too hard to work, this, huh?
Karen's clearly confident they'll have this done in no time, so long as it's done her way.
Would you like to take that lot down, please, and put it in the box?
Have you done this?
Yeah, you start round the bottom. I can't reach the bottom.
Oh, right. OK, oh, I'll start round here then.
Can't go high, can't go low. Very convenient, Karen. Last up, it's Sarah's 3-bed colour-clashing detached, which is in a state of colour confusion. But first I want to address the tatty decor and clutter crimes in the living room.
What do you think, looking at this room, what do you think this says to any potential buyer?
For me, it's quite dated.
And a lot of that is down to presentation. Things like this is a buyer will walk in and they'll look at that and they'll think, oh, well, they haven't looked after this house, they've neglected it. So if they can't even be bothered to fix the wallpaper, what else is lurking in this house that's not right? Why have you got a clothes rail there? Oh, because you've not got enough wardrobe space.
No, that's to sell.
Yeah, but that's what people will think. I don't know that you're doing that. There's no way anyone is going to buy this house with the amount of clutter that's in it at the moment because people just can't see past it.
You should have come.
Really?
Yes. I got their first shoes. I got my granddaughter's first shoes.
And that's fine.
And they're all normally on these shelves.
That's absolutely fine. But for the purposes of selling, you need to get rid of what I call the sentimental tat. And I don't mean that horribly, because I've got a ton of sentimental tat. But do you know what I mean? The stuff that means something to you, but
Won't mean anything to anybody else.
Exactly.
They're not going to walk in and say, oh, isn't that sweet?
No.
Eureka! They've got it. But it's not just cluttered, the layout's all wrong.
My big suggestion, which is going to be interesting for you guys to get your head around, is that you switch it over. So that's your dining space, this is your living space.
That's what we've been thinking.
Yeah. I would get that carpet up and just paint it a block colour and then just paint the entire 2 rooms a nice warm cream, like a lighter. You need to lighten this up. If you want to get this house off the market and you want to move, we've got to make some big changes in here.
Upstairs, the princess pink bedroom is anything but pretty and it feels severely neglected.
Some of the comments that we got from the other sellers when they came to your house was that they felt that it was a little bit tatty and that there were lots of sort of half-finished jobs. Fair assumption?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I get it, you know, you're on your own. It's not like you've got a team of people that can come in and sort it out. But equally, you're trying to move on. And I don't feel that you'll do that unless you address all of these sort of problems. The bit above, which was obviously an extractor fan at some point.
That was going to be a shower.
Yeah, and then it wasn't. So, and I mean this, for example, seriously, how are those keys even staying on there? Because that does not say to me, oh, look, here's someone that really takes pride in their house.
It's always been like that.
It's amazing it's still there. So let's talk about this room. What do you think of that? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Does it make you want to run for the hills?
No.
It's okay.
It's the
Green.
green, yeah, I'm not
Too leafy.
Okay.
But I do like the idea.
Because instantly, if you just hold that up for me against that wall, look how much brighter and fresher it looks already. And then what you could do is you could either pick that sort of leaf green or the cream, you do the rest of the walls in that. It's a lot of work, and I'm fully aware that I've thrown an awful lot of stuff at you.
We'll get it done. We'll do it.
That's the attitude.
I love these two. They are such characters, but their house doesn't reflect their personality. Even from the outside, it looks neglected. The trouble is, this house has run away with her. She's totally lost control of it, but she needs to regain that control because if she doesn't, I fear she'll never get this sold.
That's what I've got to stop thinking. It's not what I want, it's what I need to do
To sell the
to
house.
sell the house.
First on Sarah's to-do list is to declutter the bedroom, and she's keen to make progress before Louise arrives.
Oh, I must get this room clear. The clutter police is on her way, Louise. And then we can get the carpet up. That's that done.
With the clutter gone, they can now see the carpet to thankfully dispose of it. Finally, the world's most stable-looking shelf is removed. Now the room is ready for a complete revamp. My Bournemouth sellers have stepped up the pace and are working flat out to improve their homes in an effort to get them ready in time to show my buyer Steve.
Key points for me, it's got to be a house with good room sizes. not a little tiny modern box. I just like places that are comfortable, a place that I can actually get into and think, yeah, this is home.
At Ruth and Steve's half-finished detached, carpenter Dan is busy decking the abandoned patio.
The decking is something we've kind of been looking at doing for quite a long time, but not really got round to doing.
In the music den, Ruth is taking Steve to task over his guitar collection. He's got 17.
Blue and white can stay. That's staying. You can stay.
3 hours later, Steve is still deciding which of his babies he's going to keep.
This is not going to go well.
That can go. There you go. That can go. It's one. You will be missed.
Give it here.
Thank you.
Over at Jim and Karen's old-fashioned detached, Karen is busy watching the boys sand, paint and hopefully freshen up the old-fashioned pine in the conservatory, which will go a long way to achieving the light coastal theme I suggested.
I like that. I wish we'd done it before now. Yeah, I think it's going to look smart when it's all finished.
That's it, Karen. Put your back into it.
Well, Mum suggested we paint the chairs, but I think that's a great idea as long as they do it once I've got home.
Don't think you'll be getting out of it that easily, Andy. Jim and Karen converge in the kitchen to admire the tile samples I suggested, which should help reinvigorate the desperately tired walls.
That's really lovely, isn't it?
So that'll really stand out, won't it?
It will. That'll make one hell of a difference.
Certainly beats the scorched white tiles. At Sarah and Louise's colour-clashing detached, the living room clutter is piled and ready to go. But work is halted as serial hoarder Sarah's most precious knickknacks need to be packed away with the help of friends Sandra and Anna.
Somebody pack away my tin of Spam that I've had for 10 years.
Sarah's found something older than the tin of Spam.
What's this, to keep?
Yes, darling, I've had that 40 years, so I'm going to keep that.
It's just moving it from one place to another.
I know, but this is what we've got to do at the minute.
You tell her, Sarah. With most of the sentimental knickknacks packed away, Sarah gets to work patching up the kitty claw marks on the living room wallpaper.
This part of the wall where the cat destroyed it has to come off, and then we'll piece a bit in.
At Ruth and Steve's half-finished house, the last bit of decking goes down and the first stage of their funky new sun deck is done. Materials and labour for the decking came in just shy of 763 quid. Next, Ruth and Steve need to build a seating area without blowing the budget completely, so they've hit the streets to hunt for materials.
We're off to get some pallets from a shop round the corner who said it was OK to have them for free.
Loving the thriftiness, guys, and well done for asking permission. With the pallets scavenged, Steve unveils his grand design with the help of friend Ben.
So we've already sawn one in half.
Now, in theory, these two parts kind of hold themselves together.
And then we're going to put some side bracing on just to make sure it doesn't fall over.
You've kind of got a chair there.
Voila! One very cool and cost-effective bench. Inside, Ruth has a plan to make it look pretty with some fancy fabric kindly donated by the previous owner.
It is vintage fabric and it is absolutely gorgeous.
Before long, Ruth has come up with a vibrant seating cushion for the bench.
Is that okay?
Oh, that's nice.
Still plenty of work to do, Steve. At Jim and Karen's dated home, builder Steve has fitted the new kitchen worktops. Replacing the kitchen would have cost thousands, but replacing key elements like the worktops makes it more buyer-friendly at a fraction of the cost.
Oh, it's gorgeous. Actually, it's what I've always wanted.
Unfortunately, Karen's not smiling for long, as son Stephen has discovered a problem with the old kitchen sink.
Basically, the sink is really old, and they've tried freeing them up, and they're just rusted solid.
They can't get the sink off the top, so it means a new sink. What taps would you like?
One that you turn, or at some point, lets water out of them.
Don't worry, Jim, I'm thinking it too. While the painting progresses next door, Karen and daughter-in-law Julie go shopping on the hunt for a centrepiece to complete the coastal theme in the conservatory.
I quite like that. It looks rustic, it looks a bit battered. It looks like it could be a real wheel off of a really old sunken treasure ship.
Or some would say authentic.
We'll have one of these as well, for £1.
For £1, because I like you both.
Yeah.
You old charmer. At Sarah and Louise's bold and bright detached, everything is out and they've embraced the idea of toning down the lounge diner. Here's hoping they're just as keen to brighten up the downstairs with some Dove Grey slip-resistant floor paint.
That's not grey, is it?
I think it'll be all right. I think that'll help lift up the colour of the walls.
OK.
That's the spirit, Sarah. Upstairs, she's also gone with my idea of toning down the hot pink in the bedroom with calming green.
I never would have chosen it, but it's quite a nice colour.
She's also cunningly bought a funky new light fitting to cover the old extractor fan.
It fits, exactly.
Having had a professional wire and install it, Sarah adorns it with its many lampshades, ready for the big switch on.
Yay!
At Ruth and Steve's, the wallpaper's going up in the living room. Outside, Steve's finishing the bench.
This is going quite good. It's quite a nice colour, I think.
And Ruth's added character to the music room by upcycling a mirror.
This will just complete his music room nicely, I think.
While Ruth finishes the mirror, Steve just has time to hang his guitars, and the finishing touches are added.
It took a while to get used to the front room, the change of colours, because that was quite dramatic, but it's for sure for the better.
Yeah, we like everything.
Yeah.
What was a dark and depressing space, the living room has been re-energised by adding a pretty floral wallpaper with an equally uplifting colour on the walls, at a cost of £154.
Oh gosh, I think it's beautiful. Yeah. I love that paper. Gosh, doesn't it stand out now when you come in?
Yeah, the whole room's a lot brighter, yeah.
It's bigger, brighter, it's lovely, absolutely wonderful. Was it traumatic painting over the nappy brown?
No, it was all right, actually.
You can see the difference, can't you?
Yeah, huge difference.
It's a really nice feeling.
It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Could we go look at the music room? This is the bit I want to say.
Steve's old music room was cluttered and underused, and now it's a stylish and memorable space. Total cost, £50.
Oh, it's brilliant. Isn't this great?
Did they okay?
Oh, I like your mirror.
Yeah, that was Ruth's handiwork.
Yeah, my goodness, what a difference. Because there was a lot of stuff in here, wasn't there? Where's it all gone? Is it all in the loft?
It is.
Yes. A lot of guitars have gone upstairs.
As an estate agent, you want to take people straight into that kitchen diner because it is so spectacular. But now you can be proud of all the rooms down here. I mean, you've done an incredible job, you really have.
Outside, the abandoned garden patio has been transformed, creating a usable space, with Steve's pallet seating taking centre stage. It all cost just over £849.
I think the garden is an absolute triumph. Do you think it's increased your chances of selling it?
Hope so.
I hope so. I hope someone will come in now and see, obviously, the potential's already got.
Yeah.
But, you know, what other things they can maybe do with it if they wanted to.
Well,
Unless they're a guitarist, obviously, in here.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it? I don't have a guitarist, unfortunately.
At Jim and Karen's, a new sink has been fitted in the kitchen, complete with working taps, and the splashback tiles are up. Jim just has time to lighten the colour on the cupboards.
The final touches.
Accessories complete the coastal theme in the conservatory.
I'm really proud of the way this has turned out. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
By refurbishing the dated kitchen, it's been a cost-effective transformation, making it more contemporary, and the new worktops and tiles really add a touch of character. Total cost, £952.
It's incredible. I mean, it really is very, very different. I love this. This looks great. You pleased?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm very pleased.
It's made it a lot lighter.
Yeah, because I think anyone that comes into this house eventually will rip the kitchen out. But as it stands, you could look at it now and think, actually, I could work in this easily. I could easily live with this until I save up enough money for a new kitchen or whatever. Agents taking new pictures of this kitchen now, you'll be amazed at the sort of before and after. I mean, it's so much brighter, so much more spacious. But out there, I can already see a few changes. Can we get out and have a little look?
You certainly can.
Great, thank you.
The conservatory was confused and cluttered. The coastal theme and new furniture now make it a calm and inviting room, at a cost of £256.
Oh my goodness! What a difference! Oh, it's beautiful. Do you feel that you've increased your chances now? Do you think you'll actually start getting people through the door?
Yeah,
definitely. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's made this such a different room altogether.
And all the little bits, you know, this whole nautical theme has just worked, hasn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
At Sarah and Louise's, they've gone with my suggestion of reinstating the dining room at the opposite end of the open-plan living area.
Do you think we'll sell it now?
I think you will. Oh, you're definitely going to get some
I think
offers.
it's more saleable.
Yeah, 100% you're going to get offers now.
Because I like it more now than I
know
used
you
to.
The downstairs was tired and groaning with clutter. It has been completely transformed by clearing the space and refreshing the decor with a neutral colour scheme, which ties the spaces together, and it all cost £696.
Oh my... Wow, it's a different room! Oh my goodness! You've just pulled the look together brilliantly. It's such a fine line that you have to walk between depersonalising a space and sort of clutter, and you need to find that sort of... Because what you don't want to do is make it completely bland and devoid of your personality, but equally, you don't want to overpower potential buyers with your personality. And that's perfect.
A bit differently.
Yeah. Are you pleased with it? I mean, does it still feel like your home, or does it feel good?
Yeah, no, it does now. Now it's all coming together and it's sorted and...
But it's brighter and it's lighter and it's made the whole space seem twice as big.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Really incredible.
Upstairs, the dated powder pink walls have been replaced with a pretty floral wallpaper and a complementary colour on the walls, combining to make a beautifully quaint and charming bedroom. Total cost £699.
Oh, it's lovely. I love that. And it covers up, because it was an old extractor fan, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly the right size.
Yeah. But you've really made the best of it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing that I would suggest doing is sorting the front out.
Yeah.
Because I know, you know, on a limited budget, I know it's hard, but what you've got to do is get people in the door to see this. So you had £1,000. Did you manage to stick to it, or did that push it over the edge?
Yeah. Well, I went about 350 over
Okay.
£1,000, so...
But for what you've done and what you've achieved, amazing.
In Bournemouth, all three sellers have made big changes, ready for when my buyer, ex-Marine Steve, pays them a visit.
It's got to be a house with good room sizes, a place that I can actually get into and think, yeah, this is home.
Copy that, Steve. Ruth and Steve have revived their old abandoned patio, wiped away the nappy brown from the lounge and really made their music room sing.
I think if we don't win it, I'll be really annoyed.
I'd be very disappointed as well now.
Jim and Karen modernised and introduced a playful coastal theme to their old-fashioned detached.
Very, very tired now, but quietly confident at the moment.
Yes, I agree.
Sarah and Louise toned down their colour-clashing detached and brought life back to the tired decor with an elegant refresh.
I think that we're winners because of what we've done.
Yeah.
All three houses are now ready, and it's time to show them to my buyer, Steve. First up, it's Sarah's toned-down detached.
Initial impressions?
I'm used to seeing houses that are really well presented, and my initial impressions is it's a shame that it's not looking as best as it possibly could.
There are areas of the house that need working.
Okay.
Lovely. Let's get inside and look.
Steve couldn't see past the poor curb appeal. Let's see if I can turn that frown upside down in the freshly decorated living area.
Would you change much decor-wise? Is there the colours? Because I've just realised it's quite neutral, isn't it?
I would certainly want to bring some colour and texture into this.
Yeah.
It's got a very flat feel to it.
Right.
And I'd certainly want to carpet it.
Right.
It's a very livable space if that's what you're looking for.
All right. Well, shall we have a look at one of the bedrooms? There's a bedroom upstairs that I've sort of in my head got as the craft room, but we'll see whether it will be what you would have in mind. So do lead the way.
Okay, we'll do.
Beyond the lounge is a bright and modern kitchen, and upstairs 3 bedrooms, one of which has been transformed.
This is currently being used as a guest bedroom.
Okay.
Come on in, let me shut the door for you.
That's really quite sweet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's nice that they haven't overdone it, that it's just, you know, all of the images just on those 2 walls.
It's quite subtle, isn't it? But this is the sort of area that I thought probably would work well as a craft room. I mean...
It would.
What do you think this has an asking price of?
I would think 380-ish.
Oh, that's interesting. And no, it's on at offers over 320.
That does surprise me.
I mean, I reckon you'd spend 20 grand on this to make it look amazing.
Yeah. I at this point in my life, having just finished a big project and having done a big project before that, I really don't want a third one.
Then on that note, let us continue the journey.
Let's move on.
This house has the craft room space Steve's wife is craving, but maybe too much work to take on. Next, it's Ruth and Steve's now colourful Victorian detached.
It's pretty, isn't it?
It is. very well maintained.
We are obviously going to address the fact that there is no off-road parking.
Yes.
And it's one of those things, isn't it, where it's like, you can't have it all. And
Absolutely,
I know...
yeah. But at least, there is parking in the street, which is something. There's not double yellows everywhere.
So Steve's not put off by the lack of parking. Inside, this has 4 good-sized bedrooms which should impress. That wow kitchen diner and a brightened-up lounge.
Ta-da!
Wow, oh, actually, that is lovely.
Isn't
I
it?
do like that. Yeah.
Would you change much about it, colour-wise, decor-wise?
I don't think so, because that blue's quite a nice cool feel to it, so that's quite pleasant. Yeah, I really like it.
What do you think the missus would say?
I think she'd probably say this would be her craft room because it'll get the light in it. I think this would be a lovely family home. I think there's no doubt about that.
Let's continue the journey and see what you think about the rest of the house.
The decor's a hit. Next door, I do hope Steve doesn't change his tune in the new music room.
This is currently used as a music room.
Yeah, got that. Yep. Nice, actually.
What do you think?
I think it's lovely. Probably go to carpet ultimately because we want that whole cosy, snug feeling.
Snug room, yeah.
I love the turquoise. I think it's a lovely room.
Would you like to see some outside space?
Why not?
Out you go.
Okay.
Not quite as big as the one you had in New Zealand.
No.
Positive vibes again into the new, quacky and now fully usable garden.
Wow.
It's nice, isn't it?
That's nicely done, it?
Would you change anything?
Out here, I don't think I would, actually. I think you could move into this and just live here. I wouldn't see any issues at all with this. No, it's lovely.
Do you have any idea of how much this is on the market for?
I would expect this to be probably in the low threes, 310, 320, something like that.
304, 500. So not bad,
So
actually.
that's,
yeah.
I would say that represents excellent value.
Yeah. Let's go on back in.
So Ruth and Steve's is a hit. 2 properties down and 1 to go. On to Jim and Karen's modern detached. It's a bit further out of town than the other 2, but it has got it all. The house has 4 bedrooms, comfortable lounge, a separate study and that smartened up kitchen.
Detached with a garage and enough parking space for at least 2 cars.
This is really very nice, actually.
Okay.
Big tick with the garage, and he likes the exterior. Inside, it's time to see what Steve makes of the refurbished kitchen.
Let's come through to your kitchen. What do you think?
I think initially I would just give it a spruce up. It's obviously had new worktops recently.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a lot to be done here. There's enough room for a decent fridge freezer.
Yeah. And you've got all the space at the end there for all your white goods.
Yeah, saw those.
And it obviously leads out onto the conservatory, which then leads out onto the garden.
That looks lovely. I'm actually dying to get out there because that really draws your eye.
Should we get you out in that conservatory?
Absolutely.
Come on then.
Thumbs up for the kitchen, onto the coastal-themed conservatory.
So a lovely, bright, open conservatory.
It is lovely. Very nice.
Size-wise, space?
Terrific. I love the split level.
So they kind of use that area at the top of there as a sort of snug and a den, and they've got grandchildren, so the kids go up there.
That would work really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little minstrel's gallery.
Exactly.
That'd be really good.
We get outside and have a little
Love
look at the
to.
garden. Brilliant. So terraced garden, interesting space, massive fish pond. How do we
Lovely.
go with the fish pond?
Like it.
Well, let's talk price. I mean, this is slightly out of your comfort zone in terms of area, isn't it?
It's out of an area. It's not an area I've researched beforehand. I'd be thinking it's got to be around about the 380-ish.
Yeah, 340.
340.
Yeah.
That makes it a very affordable property.
So 3 really different properties. Lots and lots to think about.
Totally, yeah.
Let's go and have a think about them
Okay.
all. Let's go through them one at a time. The yellow house,
Yes.
as I like to call it. What were your thoughts on that?
I think the work that they'd done on it, they'd done really well. With a bit of TLC, if they could run that same idea, that same theme through the same house, that would be a lovely family house.
Work, wouldn't it? The Victorian house, which did grab you from the outside, didn't it?
I thought it was a lovely place. I loved all of the work they'd done inside. I think they'd done it superbly. Unfortunately, the off-street parking being non-existent.
So you wanted a garage. I gave you a garage. I gave you a garage with a modern house. And actually, you were pleasantly surprised.
I was really surprised. There was a lot of room there, and I thought the decor that they'd done on it was absolutely lovely. I loved the raised dais in that conservatory. That was really cool. The real sticking point for that is it's just too far out of Bournemouth for my work because my work mostly starts within central Bournemouth, and my lead times to get to visit clients would just be too long.
Do you think, having looked at the variety of properties today, has opened your eyes to maybe other options that you wouldn't necessarily have thought about?
It has, particularly the modern house. So I think we actually do need to go and see those properties more, and it just put a bit more effort into that. I have to continue the search. There's no doubt about that, and I'm sure the house that we want is out there. It's just it's just a matter of finding it and getting it before someone else does.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You will find it. It is out there somewhere.
I'm sure it is. I certainly hope it is.
Yeah.
So, no second viewings for any of my sellers, but Jim and Karen's did come out on top.
I'm really, really chuffed at that. Yeah. I should be on the phone tonight.
Well, in a minute.
While my other two sellers weren't picked as Steve's favourites, the improvements they've made to their properties mean that they're both a big step closer to selling their houses.
Yeah, I'm quite pleased to know that he still really liked the house, even though it wasn't quite right for him. That's quite nice to know that he still liked it.
If it's just a case of the garage, then it's not. We've obviously done something right.
Having thought about it, and I really have enjoyed this process, I'm going to do it all.